Well, I'm always reluctant to put too much stock in the images coming out of Gaza, that phrase, because they're manipulated.
And some of them are doctored in AI.
Artificially generated imagery.
Hamas propaganda.
Which is Hamas propaganda.
And they're masters of propaganda, and they're fine having their own children starve, just as long as they can put them on camera and show them off to the world. That's Hamas. And frankly, it's a lot of Palestinians.
It wasn't just about facts, it was about protecting people from harmful conduct. We banned content with harmful stereotypes about Jews.
Vast number of people in the Muslim community worldwide are powerfully deranged by religious symbols, and more important even than the deaths of their own children.
So I'm very skeptical of taking those images at face value and saying it's Israel's fault.
I'm telling you that there is no starvation in Gaza. There is a starvation campaign.
Because carnage is an advantage in this PR war against Israel.
How do we fight back? Class?
Iran and Qatar have come up with a disinformation campaign.
And the most important ones are social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is?
That they are running through TikTok and Instagram.
TikTok, number one. X.
Paramount Skydance coming in with a hostile bid for Warner Brothers Discovery, making an all-cash $108 billion offer for the entire company.
Here's what the mainstream media won't tell you about the story.
On propagandizing pictures coming across through the media.
And they put Barry Weiss, probably the most pro-Israel person in media, in charge of CBS News.
The people, the family who controls Paramount.
So David Ellison is running Skydance that bought Paramount and wants to buy Warner Brothers that includes CNN, right? So his father's Larry Ellison, who's financing all of this. Larry Ellison's the number one donor to the IDF. He's gave $60 million in charity in the middle of a genocide.
Tech boss Larry Ellison, founder and top shareholder of software giant Oracle, has seen his net worth soar by $70 billion in one day.
And Larry Ellison is also the guy who illegally bribed Marco Rubio $5 million after having a meeting with him and making sure that he was going to be pro-Israel for the rest of his career.
They're masters of propaganda. That's Hamas. And frankly, it's a lot of Palestinians.
Mr. Ellison now has a net worth of $364 billion, according to Bloomberg's Billionaires Index, after the biggest one-day jump in wealth ever recorded. That puts him in striking distance of overtaking this man, Elon Musk, to become the world's richest man.
Larry Ellison, the largest private donor to the IDF, could soon control TikTok, Paramount, Warner Brothers, CNN, CBS, HBO, and almost every major cable channel.
That is massive.
And I hope it goes through because it's consequential.
Of course, the Rothschild family then as now filled two roles, because it wasn't just a leader of diaspora Jewry. It also played a very significant role in the early years of the establishment of the pioneer communities in Israel as well.
Well, in the new Epstein files, Epstein himself claims to represent the Rothschilds. Here is that email to Peter Thiel of Palantir. As you probably know, he says, I represent the Rothschilds. I was hoping to figure out a way for the bank that has $160 billion in it. Management can do something in tech. Most of us understand the Rothschilds represent a secret underground group of puppet masters bending international finance to their benefit for hundreds of years.
And what I see when I see all of these documents is, again, a very small club. It seems to be generational wealth that is passed on. Most of the people involved have been involved since the Federal Reserve.
Epstein embedded himself with Leslie Wexner, founder of the Wexner Foundation, a program that trains Israeli public officials and security operatives, many of whom go on to serve in high-level positions, including Mossad. Wexner built a retail empire, Victoria's Secret, Bath & Body Works, Abercrombie & Fitch, and at one point, he was one of the most powerful figures in American retail. Where did the rest of the money come from? That brings us to the Mega Group, a little-known collection of ultra-wealthy, pro-Israel philanthropists. Leslie Wexner was a founding member. This group didn't just donate to charities, they tried to shape policy. They funded political campaigns. They operated in that fuzzy space between private wealth and national interest. And Epstein
also had close ties to our own intelligence agencies and Israel's intelligence agencies. That's why there's so much effort in trying to stop this.
It has never been proven, documented, that Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad agent.
And Acosta is quoted in here saying, I was told Epstein belonged to intelligence and to leave it alone. The second document, entitled What Epstein's Bodyguard Warned About His CIA Connections. The third document is from Fox Digital. It's titled Epstein's Private Calendar Reveals Planned Meetings with Obama Admin Official CIA Chief. And the last document is Wall Street Journal article that highlights Ehud Barak's 36 meetings with Jeffrey Epstein. He was the former Prime Minister of Israel and head of military intelligence for Israel.
We need America to wake up and prioritize Israel.
There's a clear power dynamic in those emails. It was not that Epstein was seeking out Barak's attention or trying to get a hold of Barak per se. It was really inverted. Barak was somebody who was eager for Epstein's attention, eager to work with Epstein. It certainly wasn't like Epstein was working for Mossad or something like that. He was far more powerful than that. He was somebody who people who were working for Israeli intelligence, like Barak continued to do throughout his career and throughout his life, they were looking for Epstein's help.
Wexner is interested in, by his own admission, is accumulating more and more power and control. And the reason he says that is because he considers himself demonically possessed by what he calls a debuk, which is the Yiddish term for a demonic possession. He had it when he was a child, it left when he was a teen, and then when he was 40, it returned to him and makes him want to accumulate more and more power.
There are some really satanic sounding messages in these Epstein files, and if you just take the verbatim what's said and you put it out there, it's jaw-dropping. But also we have to understand the context of what is being talked about here. There's mention of torturing people, burying people. Like there are so many stories that we need to figure out, like, what is this actually about? But I also think, as I'm looking through these, this is the email communications that we're looking at. And some of them are photos and some of them are recordings, but this is just like a fraction of the communication or activity that these people were involved with.
Okay, as far as the Epstein list, what I have been told by my sources is that there is no Epstein list.
See, Epstein kept a little black book, a contact list that reads like a who's who of global influence. Over 20 numbers for Bill Clinton, 14 for Donald Trump, 11 for Alan Dershowitz, and 7 for Ehud Barak, the former Prime Minister of Israel.
How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
And I want to have a list of all the radical feminists who are pushing hard, and I understand that, to get all these names revealed, and I want to know how many of them have ever actually condemned Hamas.
During a recent Oracle Q&A, Ellison said AI will soon play a major role in monitoring society through a vast network of interconnected cameras.
Okay, we are now entering a world where the same hands,
Hamas propaganda,
Iran and Qatar.
We've actually acquired a number of Israeli companies,
control the news, the movies, and the viral trends.
Throughout these years, I have witnessed the company and the world change in ways I would have never imagined years ago.
We made a change to designate the use of the term Zionist as a proxy for a protected attribute as hate speech.
Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on.
There's no finish line to moderating hate speech, identifying hateful trends.
And we'll do everything we can to support the country of Israel.
One name that's come out that's been really central to this discussion of Epstein is that of Elon Musk, the world's richest man. This is an email from Elon Musk to Jeffrey Epstein asking what day or night will be the wildest party on your island. That's in 2012. So this is after Jeffrey Epstein's conviction for soliciting sex from underage girls.
So we have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy. He's a friend.
Propagandizing pictures coming across through the media.
Over the course of 2024, we tripled the amount of accounts that we were banning for hateful activity.
And Epstein, he was a private banker, confidant, and fixer for the political elites. So many of those around him share one thing in common: connections to Israeli causes, Zionist networks, and the mega group.
We banned content claiming Zionists run the world or control the media.
The danger here is that they're able to now quietly engineer public opinion without us realizing it.
Radical plans to impose radical Islam on the world.
If you are a young person, you open up your phone and all you see is dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby, Diddy, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby.